We heard insightful testimony from a bloodstain pattern analysis expert that says Crystal Kenny's story is true based on the evidence he saw, but it was overshadowed by stories from a former Teller County inmate who says Patrick Frazee, when he learned this inmate was part of a prison gang, asked him to take out key witnesses as part of this case.
But as our Sam Kraemer reports, the so-called no-body trial carries a conviction rate that might surprise you.
Nearly a year after police say she was killed by Patrick Frazee, and despite months of ongoing investigation, including a landfill search for her remains, police still haven't found Kelsey Barrett, an apparent disadvantage for prosecutors headed to trial.
The body is really the best piece of evidence in a murder case. When you have the body, you typically will know how a murder happened.
But statistics show it's not as much of a problem as you might think. The Bureau of Justice Statistics reports no-body murders carry a conviction rate of 88% compared to just 70% for murders with the victim's body. Tad Tobias, a former federal prosecutor in Washington, D.C., now studies no-body murders. He says the stats are partially explained by the prosecutor's case selection.
When a no-body case goes to trial, a prosecutor is only going to take the strong cases to trial because there's such an obvious defense if you don't have the body.
This is a case that was largely built on circumstantial evidence, but the best evidence they had, the closest thing to direct evidence they had, was the testimony of Crystal Kenny. She provided them basically everything they needed to know, as close to direct evidence as they could get, as far as how this crime happened, how he did it, when he did it, where he did it, how he disposed of her body.
We're taking a closer look at the key evidence that helped put Patrick Frazee away, cell phone records. There's Sam Kraemer continuing this coverage. And Sam, you found out from the very beginning, before he was even arrested, that those cell phones were so important.
Yeah, exactly. The news of that ping from Bear's phone in Idaho on November 25th only fueled the mystery, especially noting that Frazee told police they actually talked on the phone that day. Today, our digital footprints are almost equal to that of GPS trackers, and Verizon data showed Frazee was lying. In a case lacking physical evidence of a crime, the FBI relied on digital evidence to show something happened to Kelsey Barrett.
Cell phones, technology in general, is the new modern DNA in helping solve cases.
Remember, Woodland Park police told us Barrett's phone pinged off a tower in Idaho on November 25th, 3 days after she was last seen. Frazee also told police he'd called and texted her through the 25th. But that data told a different story.
It shows that Mr. Frazee was lying. Tomorrow marks the one-year anniversary of her death.
You've likely heard the horrible news of how she died, but we are taking a look at the person she was with the help from those who knew her best. Sam Kraemer has the story of a loving mother gone far too soon.
When you first meet Kelsey, she's super shy, very quiet. But behind that quiet exterior is someone that's very sharp, very intelligent.
Kelsey Barrett's love for aviation began at a young age. She had dreams of working as a crop duster on the family farm, turning to DOS Aviation instead as a flight instructor.
She was one who was teaching our Air Force pilots, United States Air Force pilots, how to fly.
She drove 60 miles there to Pueblo and 60 miles back to her home in Woodland Park, a tall task when a new source of joy entered her life after the birth of her now 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee.
She was a single mom trying to do it all.
From everything that I heard from Kelsey, from her pictures, from all other relatives, her daughter just meant the world to her.
The typical mother-daughter bond, they were just they're beautiful together.
To those that knew her, she was adventurous and sharp. She spent part of her final moments at the grocery store with her daughter, buying ingredients for a family favorite dip recipe. Her mother, Cheryl, says she loved the holidays.
She was planning her Christmas list and calling people wanting to know what was on their list for Christmas.
Now they'll spend holidays without her, the flight instructor gaining her wings for whichever journey comes next. But to the Barrett family, Kelsey's memory flies on forever.
She's a good person. I couldn't ask for a better daughter.
Sam Kraemer reporting, and tomorrow the Woodland Park Police Department hosting a candlelight vigil at Memorial Park. Starts at 6 o'clock, and on Saturday a celebration of life service will be held at Seventh-day Adventist Church. That starts at 2 o'clock.